How does everything sound? I'd appreciate if someone in the chat let me know that my mic is working, everything's good. You know, I don't want any crazy sound difficulties going on. Anyone? Everything looks fine, maybe? It works? Thank you very much, you know. Alright, have fun listening to the music until, a little less than 3 minutes from now. Alright, we'll be starting in just a moment here, so, yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in and everything. Let's see. Alright, just getting everything all ready, and then we can start. Everything will be nice and clean. So, alright, so, what's up, guys? It's time for Tutorial Tuesday, and tonight should be pretty interesting. You see, I've been getting a fair amount of requests for Tutorial Tuesday on pathing, because it's one of the harder things to really pick up as a player, and I agree. Let me just tell you right there, I totally agree. It took forever for me to pick any of that up, and as a player, it's something you kind of have to earn. And that's what this is going to go into for a bit. Now, I'm not saying I'm not talking about pathing, I'm just saying that there's a lot of pathing to talk about. So what I'm covering is a very minuscule amount of pathing. It's not going to be, 7 hours of everything I know about pathing. It's going to be, I don't know, an hour or two, tops, of these two particular examples of pathing on a specific map. Not because I think that map's more important or better, but because they're nice and clean cut. They're relatively, easy to teach you guys instead of something a little more abstract and harder to really fully grasp. It's becoming, pathing in general has become a lot more of a known thing. It used to be kind of this wishy-washy thing that was talked about, but nobody really could, I felt, people didn't really know too much about it, but as time has gone on, it's definitely become much more important. And that's why I decided to to take up the, in a way, challenge of trying to teach about pathing. And trust me, it's not easy. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to just figure out as a player. And a lot of that has to do with you. A lot of that has to do with you guys as a player trying to learn and grow and noticing these things. I'm not going to teach you all of this. There's a lot to pathing. I just can't just hand you guys. I'm sorry, but you need to explore the world of SpyParty. It's a really cool world, and I want you to. I really want you to. So please go for it. So pathing basically boils down to how AIs walk, how a general artificial intelligence in the game of SpyParty currently, this is all current, checker might change the game and ruin this, but this is for now, for the current build, whatever number it is, how they walk, why they walk where, and why they walk where and there and here and there. So there's a lot to it. Now, it's funny because turn out. Because gosh, how do I put it? There's just so much to look for. It's so hard to just figure out on your own. That it almost feels impassable when you're newer. You know, you get shot for walking, and you go, what? How did I get shot? And that's kind of what I want to go into here. So, I'm gonna just hop into practice mode here. Alright, so let's jump on over hither, if you will. Hopefully this works. SpyParty, yep, that's the game. So, so how about I practice Spy? I'm gonna go into Courtyard too, because that's kind of the focus of this one right now. And I just wanna not take control here. Now, one thing that I feel like a lot of newer players don't always consider is the fact that AIs will always try and take the shortest path. AIs will always try and take the quickest path between two options. So they want to walk like this instead of something wacky like this. I mean, that's just obvious. I mean, you kind of pick it up as a player pretty quickly about how AIs walk. That's why they don't pass super funky, and that's why they just kind of go like this. But I want to teach you a little bit more about it. And the first thing I want to teach is this cute little tidbit. I know it might sound silly that I'm even trying to teach this, but I want to. Is something that happens at the statues of Courtyard too. The statues are an interesting area, and some things happen. I would like to note though that the shortest route thing gets mucked up a lot. Somebody takes their path in a conversation circle. Somebody, grabs the briefcase when they were going for it. So their paths get changed. So if somebody takes a long path, don't assume that it's a human. Just remember, stuff gets mucked up. That's just how the game works. It's part of it. So I'm gonna go into sniper mode here, and I'm gonna show you guys something cool about the statues here. Now everything I'm about to teach you is not an always, if that makes sense. It's not something you can just always shoot for. It's something you can watch for. It's something you can highlight for or low light for. Probably highlight, to be honest. I'm a little more of a highlighter than a low lighter, if that makes sense. And it's how it's kind of how they leave. So what I want to show you guys is when this guy leaves, he's an AI, there's no spies here. He's going to take the shortest turning radius to where he wants to go. So he turns over here, he turns this way, and walks here to his CC, because he's going to this side. Were he going to the other side, he would have turned the other way and walked over here. And the ambassador, depending on which way they go, it just shows which way they're going to. So if you see the ambassador turn right here, he's gonna go like here, 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 or maybe somewhere over there, probably. But if you see a character, and look at that, I predicted it. If you see a character turn this direction but go over here to this big full 270-degree turn, that's suspicious. And I want to I wanna go into that a little bit because it's not a huge thing. It's not like you just always win because you see it. That's not how pathing works. Pathing is a big collection of little things that you notice and understand in the way AIs move that you can use to your advantage against other players. That is probably the best definition of pathing I could probably ever give, because because it's just it's impossible to just know everything. Um, and that's one of the bigger things. So so it's really cool though, because when you're actually practicing at when you're actually practicing as a spy though, it's super easy to mess this up, and I wanna show you how it's done. So you pick up a statue, you swap it, trying to be all coy. And what you want to do is you want to figure out your camera. That's a little awkward, but you want to figure out your camera so that you can turn the right way. I use my camera. I've heard of people using the buttons more than I have, but generally speaking, I mean, you wanna turn like that. Even if it feels awkward, even if it seems weird, you want to turn in the direction you're gonna head out. Because if your sniper friend has seen this or has read the forums a lot, they'll probably know. So if I'm going right, I can just walk this way. And if I'm going right, you might want to give yourself some space. AIs can do it a lot better, but at the same time, yeah, the clank is not important. At the same time, you got to turn the right way. And that seems easy to say, but it's important. It's in my opinion incredibly important to consider. You can't just I mean, it's so weird because pathing is such a small thing in the game, but it can get blown out of proportion, especially when it's all you got shot for. It's like, oh, I was suspicious of him and him, but really, what got me shot? Um, so let's jump over here. Is that me? I don't know if that's me. I can't see nothing. That's not me. Um, so that's not me. That's not me at all. I'm gonna go into that in a bit. Um, so the uh, the the biggest point of that is that as a sniper, it's something you want to be looking for. It's something you want to be considering. But don't think of it as your primary highlight strategy. Sometimes they turn 180 degrees and then do a 45-degree turnout. and it looks like they go the opposite direction. I learned that, interestingly, um, from a very good player named Zero TKA, or Zerotica, or however you want to pronounce his name. And in his forum post, which you should all read, Into the Mind of an AI, he demonstrates how he just kind of how an AI can turn 180 right here and then go 45. So it's actually not quite um, it's not quite always how it seems. This probably seems fairly clear cut, but the more you play, the more you'll see exceptions. The more you'll see AI acting funny and crazy stuff going down. So what I suggest to you as players, as snipers um, who are trying to learn these things, as spies as well, of course, you want to consider there's always exceptions. And as a spy, for example, if you think your opponent knows this, if you think your opponent is aware of these techniques, take advantage of it. Please. If you're playing me, because I know this, I'm teaching it, and I see somebody walk that, I'll probably highlight them. And then you can just go and frame that person. That's great, because then you're using this knowledge in such a cool way, in such a great way, and that's what I want. I don't want it to just be, oh, you shoot for this, oh, that's it, that's all this is for. No, there's so much more. Use this knowledge however you wish. I want you guys to use it to your benefit, whether that be to, double or reverse swap me to death, or to just make me so sure that your pathing is so amazing that there's no way to spy. I mean, there's two directions you can take it. There's probably more than that. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. But it's stuff like that. That's why I'm even doing this, to teach you guys, to make you guys better. So, is that all I need to say on the statue? Let's see. It's again, this is a bit advanced, so if you're new to the game, that's fine. If you're new to the game, don't worry too much about it. So, and of course, there are lots of exceptions to this. Do not assume it's always going to be the spy. Do not just shoot for it wildly. So let's see. Let's make sure I got everything going here. Bleep blop, bleep bloop, bleep blop. Alright, so did not know that. I want to show a bit of footage. And I want to go over a minor anti-tail. And I say minor because you can do it. You can totally do this. But but you can totally do this as a spy. I do it all the time. Every time I can, I do this anti-tail because it's not an anti-tail. At best it's a soft one, because if the sniper knows about it, then I'm not that suspicious. If the sniper doesn't know about it, I'm getting practice, and that's how I see this. So I want to show you guys this dealing. Let's jump over to this clip I have. Thankfully, my dearest friend turned out 8. Dearest friend. Is that where it goes? Oh no, it's right there. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna show this this footage. Weep wop, boop bop. Right there. Oh my god, you'll never work perfectly. I mean, come on, it worked earlier in practice. You're brutal. You're brutal, sir. Brutal. Boom. Alright, every time. Thank you, Murder Master. I appreciate the compliment. The standard 4 minutes on clock, Courtyard 2. Known 6. So, there we go. So I want to show this, alright, let's done with that. I want to show this neat little, I want you guys to be paying attention here. Here, I'm going to jump over back. No, if I jump back to me, that'll be bad. So, to everyone watching, I want you to see if you can pick out who the spy is. Now, I'm going to stop at a certain point, and I want to know, I want to see, maybe in the chat, maybe if you're watching on the YouTube video, either way, I want to see if you guys can figure out who the spy is here, because I love, this is one of, a lot of my opponents know that I like this about Courtyard 2, it's really cool, but I want to see if you guys can figure out who the spy is here. I'm just going to play, I don't know, I think it's 30 seconds here, and I want to see if you guys can see what is up. So, let's see if you can figure this out. Good luck. No sound, nothing, just me. Alright. Just look at this pillar. This totally unimportant area of Courtyard 2 that has nothing to do with anything. I might watch this once or twice, but I want to stare at this for a bit. Nothing crazy. Nothing insanesies here. Alright. Alright. Oh, what? It's Blue Danger? It's Red Dress? Who could it be? Who is it? It's, oh yeah, it's Red Dress. Well, that too. She also did not grab the statue. But the thing I'm looking at is that she did not double bump, to quote SpyParty in the chat. You see, I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna go back and point out some of the bits on this map that I just enjoy. Now, of course, I knew it was Red Dress because I can't have a spy in practice mode, sadly. So when AIs walk on Courtyard 2, they do this awesome little thing right here. This guy's about to show it for us. When they hit this area here, they do this double bump. That's what it's called. I think it was R7 that found it, but I'm not 100% sure. And I want you guys to watch him do this. He walks and he kind of taps us twice to the shoulder. Now, let's go. You watch now. Red Dress is of course the spy. I know this, but I want to note how AIs when they go over here, this area, They double bump. That's the spy. Also, yes, this. But yeah, he double bumps. This suspected DA double bumps, and so um, I shoot red dress because I mean it's not like a hardtail where you just know immediately, but it's definitely it's definitely important. I would say if you want to get decent at Courtyard 2, especially at higher levels, I suggest that you learn this. Um, so I'm gonna go into the real game and go over this right now because I can't just it looks much better. So let's practice sniper. Let's practice sniper here. Now, it's funny because I feel like when you first learn this, it almost sounds like a joke. When you first learn this tidbit, you're like, Drawn, there's no way. There's no way that AI do that. I've never even seen it. And then you watch. You look for it. Tell me what you're doing, sucker. Bump, bump. Oh, look at that. He double bumped. It's so funny. For the record, that's Virginia Volps. That is surveillance. Alright, so it's double bump. Man, that's so strange. Let's go. But basically, I mean, it's funny because I feel like this anti-tail, it's very minor. It's so simple to explain. It's so vastly easy to just say, oh yeah, they double bump on Courtyard 2. But it's pretty fascinating how simple it is to look out for. So you just kind of casually watch, and I mean, generally speaking, you don't want to you don't want to shoot for it. You don't want to go, oh, yellow danger. It was, I mean, you clearly didn't double bump. But the cool thing about this pathing issue, it's almost a bug, kind of, is the fact that it can be replicated easily, and I'm going to show that in just a moment. So maybe not easily, you want some practice, but basically you want to use this as a way to test your suspects. When you suspect a Mr. Revolta over here, you yes, I did just shoot practice mode spy. When you see, you know, one of your suspected guys walking down the pillar, which he's not doing because he's not very cooperative, you see, okay, he double bumped. Okay, well, sure, he's a highlight, but it might not be him. However, I don't know, if somebody doesn't do it, I would be really tempted, to just always look for it. Now, of course, you see her right there? She's an AI. She did this kind of funky pathing through here. And, I mean, that happens. I'd highlight for it. That doesn't mean she's the spy. Please, I oblige you, do not just shoot wildly because they missed this path a bit. Do not shoot wildly. Oh wow, it was red dress. So I feel like that's a huge thing. Let's go over here. Let's just show me. So while this is a big important kind of tell, it's rather an anti-tell, to be more accurate. What's awesome about it is that, of course, you can replicate it. That spies know about it. It's been talked about and fixed and talked about. So spies can do it. So it's not some crazy tell that only AIs can do that you can lowlight for. No. When I see the double bump against just about every player, no matter of skill level, even newbies, because it's almost mean, I suggest, I mean, it's just that you can't know who knows about it. If somebody spent hours on the forum before they started, they might know about the double bump, and I heavily suggest that you practice in practice mode, like I'm about to show you now. Now, let's kind of just jump over here to Courtyard 2, and I'm just going to walk around. I'm, of course, yellow danger. Let's take a sip of my drink, add 1 billion hours of time. Pretty tempting stuff. But so you walk over here, you want to walk forward, and then you just kind of turn a bit, double bump, and that's it. What I do is I use my mouse. I just hold W and do it. If you're using a mouse and keyboard, you're awesome. So I just kind of lean my oh, that's me. I'm stupid. Darn it. That one. Haha. So, I apologize. So, what you want to do is you want to walk forward W and just kind of lean your mouse over. Sometimes I do kind of like a triple bump or something because I'm not perfect with it. But, you know, honestly, um, if you see the double bump at all, I wouldn't worry too much. I would definitely consider that. Oh, that's probably an AI. You know. Oh, well, there's no way that's a spy. Well, maybe not. No way. I mean, anyone can do the double bump. That's my favorite thing about it. Is that it's just not a huge. It's not a huge tell. Thank you, Oda. And that's what kind of makes it an exciting pathing thing. And that's one of the reasons why I don't mind teaching about it, because I use this in my play. I know I do. But what's great is that even once you know about it, I mean, you know, everyone's gonna slip up. I slipped up. Man, this guy's brutal. It's like DJing. Anyway, so, but you just want to move your mouse, and although I can show you this, you know, a billion hours a day, what I suggest is that you practice it, that you look for it and practice mode as sniper, and that you kind of practice your double bumping. It seems stupid, it seems silly almost, but I mean, I've been shot for it more times than I care to admit. Not because I'm bad at it, but because I know players who look for it. Because as you get higher up in the level of skill, you get to these kind of points of skill level where you need to know these things. I don't know. I feel like a lot of it sounds silly. Pathing always sounded, at least to me, like, oh ho ho, you shot me because of how I walked. Thanks. That's so specific. And then you go, oh, okay, well, AIs, you know, they take the shortest distance and they turn at the right angle so that they can, you know, not waste their time in a lot of ways. And then when they path on this map, they do this, and when they path on this map, they do this. But thankfully, there's only so many of those. There's not, like, there's pathing to look out, and there's general pathing too that works on every map, or mostly every map. But I mean, I would say that on Courtyard 2, those are the biggest bits that I wanted to cover. There is one other thing that I wanted to go over. It's not a Courtyard 2 related thing, but it's something that I want to go over with the current state of the game. Because I know people have asked me about it, and it's not something I'm, yeah, don't shoot for double bumping. But I would heavily suggest that this next part, this, gosh, it's tough. This is one of the things I know that people want to learn about, but the issue is that it's not easy to really go into. But I want to discuss it. I want to discuss it on my stream because it's very important to understand some of the principles of this. And the first principle is that this cannot be easily reproduced by a human. So I'm going to go into sniper mode. It doesn't actually matter what map. Let's see. So now everybody knows that the AI can do this wacky stuff where they just bounce off each other. I joke that it's called Bounce Revolution, but it's just called bouncing in general, and it kind of happens. You know, watching bounce off Toby or what happens. I'm stupid at the face cam. I keep doing that. Anyway. So you see the AIs bump into each other, and you see them just like slap each other with their bodies. And it's so wacky to watch, especially at the beginning. In fact, I'm gonna restart the game because I want to show you guys, you know, Time of Chaos stuff. I'm Spy, not Spy. I mean, they just kind of do like this wacky, like bouncing stuff, and it looks so clean. It looks so crisp. They don't even they don't even like stop. When you are a normal spy, a normal human, you will stop. 9 times out of 10, that is. The other time is once you've gotten practice or something, and you've learned about how the game works a little better. It's kind of interesting. Um, but I think it's really interesting how out of all the things in the game, this is probably the one thing that cannot currently be reproduced with any consistency. There is just just nobody who can just always do it, and I kind of like that about it. And I want to go into spy mode and just kind of show you guys. Just jump to Courtyard 2 or something, I don't know. And I want to show you guys bouncing and why it's hard. See, I bounce perfect because I don't have control yet. It's great. But the moment I take control, all that fluidity and beauty gets ruined. And like, yeah, you can bounce. Like that was okay. You know, it wasn't good. A bump. But I just want to show you guys how bouncing is part of the game. Like that, you don't want to do like 360 bounces. Those are just black. Now, a lot of times that almost looked really nice. A lot of times, the AI will do wacky pathing that looks impossible, and you'll low light for it or highlight for it because it's super weird, depending on your level of skill and all that jazz and how confident you are. But one thing that I read a long time ago that always stuck with me, was that the AI's bodies are built like rubber. They are like rubber. That is what they're like. That is not like rubber. They bounce. They just kind of, you know, go off each other. It doesn't matter. Real people dodge each other. They do this kind of like, okay, well, I'll get out of your way and be polite. And especially at a party like this. I mean, seriously, everybody's so impolite in these parties. It's kind of ridiculous. And it's something that a lot of, I feel like newer players, I guess not newer players, intermediate players have asked me about. Some players have mentioned wanting to understand how to bounce properly and how to, and how to go off each other in an easy way that makes you look like an AI. And the biggest thing though is that right now there's no easy way to replicate it. Currently, the best way that I found is to either get kind of glancing blows, as I call them, where you kind of glance off to the side and you don't get a great bounce. But you know when you see the AIs and they just kind of do that sick bounce, they go left and right and left and right and left and right, and it looks crazy, and there's like no way your opponent even did that. Now, I've done that once or twice for a little bit. I need to reproduce it before I feel comfortable telling lots of people how it's done, because honestly, to be fair, I can't say, oh yeah, this is how it's done, because it's too hard just to always say, okay, this is how it works, this is how it always works. Let's see, where are we here? Now we go back to me on purpose, not because I forgot. And what I want to go over there is that there's a lot of stuff about pathing. Bouncing is part of pathing. It is. It's how you walk. It's how you move. It's how you act like an AI. But it's not something that we, as spies with our current abilities and capabilities, know how to do consistently. Generally, I would say that elite level spies should be able to replicate something over 50% of the time, at least. And currently, it does not happen. You cannot do that over half the time. I don't think, personally. And I'm not calling, you know, like Checker out and saying, oh, this game is like terrible. No, I love this game. Why would I be doing this if I didn't love this game? But I want to note that it's just something that isn't just gonna change suddenly. I mean, one day, yeah, there'll be a patch for it, and maybe we'll be able to bounce much more easily. Blech. But currently, there's not much we can do about it. And once Checker finds an easy way to do it, or you know, redoes the pathing code and makes this entire video obsolete, that's awesome. That's great. perfect. But until then, I suggest one of two things. Either A, you as a player, um, try and figure it out yourself. You go into practice mode and you say, well, how could I do that bounce? Because if I can do the bounce, and this is true, you could almost always get lowlights. I mean, if somebody could always replicate that bounce, you could just change the meta hardcore, at least currently. Um, but I mean, the other option is what most people do, and that's just kind of ignore it, like maybe try it out a few times. And I mean, I've kind of gone the middle path where like I've tried it, but it's not something I focus on. I mean, I look at pathing a lot, but I don't focus on that. Bouncing's hard. Bouncing with consistency is tough. I mean, I was playing the other day, I was doing great. I do a 360 and I get shot. That's what happens at high enough level play. You can't just always be sure of these things, and I feel like that's very important to go over. Not all pathing is absolute. In fact, I would almost say none of it's absolute. There are so many minor things. I mean, this game's in beta right now. So when you consider that, there's going to be all these bugs and glitches and things that are going wrong. And so all these pathing things I'm teaching, who knows? Who knows if the double bump will be there by the time the art goes up? Or I mean, not, like the map art or the character art. Who could even guess? And if it is, great. Yeah, man. I have an edge in a way. Not anymore. I'm doing this video. But if it doesn't, then I get to learn new things. Hopefully there's more pathing to learn because I don't mind that. Um, so let's see. Um, I want to stress that pathing isn't like the elite level thing to do. It's not. I almost feel like here's what happens. Here's what happens to a lot of players. You go to intermediate level, which is, I want you to be watching this if you're intermediate or higher, whatever. Or new. Hey, if you wanna try and jump ahead of the curve, that's fine. So you're an intermediate player. You play against the high level player in a mentor game, and they kill you. You ask why, and they say pathing. They explain that you walked wrong or you did something wrong, you didn't double bump, etc., etc. And you go, oh, well, that's why the elite level player got me. But so clearly that's what I need to learn to become an elite level player. No, that's not how it works. How it works is they figured out all this other stuff by playing the game a lot, by learning all these other things that you need to learn. And then that confirmed it. They had three other suspects, and you did that one thing wrong. It's not that's what got you killed. That wasn't the, oh, I shoot you, you're dead kind of thing. But that's what confirmed it. That's what said, okay, well, that's probably who it is. There's a chance it's the other person, but that brought you from highlight to I'm gonna shoot here. And that's something I feel like a lot of players might misunderstand it as. I mean, I love to look for pathing. It's fun. It's kind of minor. It's out of the way, and it's something you can always have in the back of your head. But it's not going to be the end all be all. I'm so good at pathing, I can't lose. Um, I mean, you can just stay on AI control, hit into a conversation, banana bread, and still win on balcony against anyone. I mean, you can, unless there's no BB selected. Now that there's a mission to cut in any 2 or 3. So, I think, that's, let's see. I think that's all I really have to say tonight. Hopefully, um, this helped. Hopefully, my explanation of these two large pathing tips, the stuff on bumping, and my explanation why pathing isn't the end all be all thing can help you. Um, if you have any questions, you can find me here. If you have any, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on the SpyParty forums if you want to message me or something. Um, to answer a quick question in the chat before I head out, no, this does not really happen on any other map. I mean, there are stuff. Um, that there is stuff that happens on other maps, but I just want to go into Courtyard 2 tonight because I know I really enjoy Courtyard 2. So, thank you for watching. I hope this helped. Let's see. hope to see you next week. And next week, I'm gonna try looking at some games from some good players. I'm trying to figure out who. I know KCM streamed a lot tonight, so I might just toss on some of his games because he's a good player. But I mean, there's tons of good players I can pick from, which is one of the great things about SpyParty. And I'm gonna look at some of those games and analyze them, in maybe a more in-depth way, in a more game-by-game, play-by-play analysis than maybe you may have seen Taboshi do. So if you want to tune in, see me next week. I stream just about every night. I hope to see you guys tomorrow or next week or what have you. And until then, thank you for watching.